Yeah, we've got our team. We operate in Hervey Bay. I've been in Hervey Bay selling real estate since 2009. I was with a different brand up until 2015, and been enjoying every single day of being at the Elders office. So,
Terrific.
found a massive difference in my business.
Do you have any ownership interest in your office, or?
No, I'm just their sort of top salesperson, and got the number one in Queensland in our sort of. Thank you.
Well done. So I did see you on the cruise last night. So, which is our elite performers.
Thank
so,
you.
Congratulations on it so far. So relatively new to the industry?
No.
So 2009 you said?
Well, I started in 2007 in Tasmania.
Okay.
And did real estate there. It was too cold, so we made the decision to go to Hervey Bay. And
so tell us about Hervey Bay. What sort of dynamics are there? Market dynamics do we have in there?
More of a retirement sort of area where you get your people that sell in down south. You know, they sell a $700 to $1 million dollar home.
Price point?
Our average is very, very, very low compared to most of everybody else's averages. Our bread and butter is basically about 300, 350, and the average, most of the property is either between 280 up to say 450 max, but our everyday sort of house is between 3 and 350. Yeah.
So you've had a Tasmanian beginning.
Yep.
To now Hervey Bay. How's the industry itself changed in the time that you've been here?
It's totally different market, because where I've come into Hervey Bay, I've just missed. They've had a really big market. It was a big boom happening, and then I just came right at the end of it, and it was it's actually, I'm happy to be in a market where you're selling in a difficult market, because it really tests you out as an agent, that you are dealing with people that bought a house for $400,000, but you're going to have to give them offers at $320 or $330, and that's what they have to accept. So it takes a lot of courage to actually work with this sort of market.
So how do you do that?
It was very difficult in the beginning, but the more you get in front of the vendors and the more you actually find the right answer to actually say, well, this is what the market is doing, and this is what we can get, and this is what we've sold, this is what your house, compares with this other property. Then when people started seeing that, and they're starting believing that this is reality.
It's an education process. It's a high level of regular contact and not social work. It's telling the truth. It's
telling it how it is.
Stats. We're not social workers.
Yep. Yeah. Good. And it was difficult, but yeah.
No, it's because there are markets that are flying at the moment, and there's markets, regional, otherwise, that aren't. So it's an important thing. Yeah. What do you most enjoy about what you do?
I love the negotiation. It's that's where my adrenaline really runs high. To me, this is the game, and I just love the backward and the forward game, not to the extent that you lose one of the parties to changing the mind, but the negotiation is that where I really enjoy the most. Yeah.
Sorry, we've got massages going on in the background. It's a bit distracting, isn't it? Well, I'll let you go and have one shortly.
That's all right.
So, what don't you enjoy necessarily about our industry?
Like every industry has got its positives and negatives. Sometimes it's the negative energy that you get from some people, and the ones that you work really, really hard and you've nailed it, you've got the best offer for them, and then they come back and they're not quite happy about it. Generally, it doesn't happen very often. It's very, very rare, but it drains your energy. It really does. And what I've learned to know is that I take everything too personal, and I'm learning to separate myself. So it's not about me, it's not about them taking it on me, it's about they're not happy with what happened, especially like I said, when someone having to buy a house in say 2005, 2007, and now they don't get the same sort of price.
Yeah. So it's empathy, not sympathy.
Absolutely.
So stay at some sort of emotion, otherwise you do get a bit bogged down, don't you?
Yeah.
Now, you've got to list them to sell them.
Yeah.
What do you do you have a listing strategy that works for you that you might be able to share the secret of?
Well, there's no secret to it. What I do is that I actually just call everybody back, and I promise them, and people know that if I say to them, I'm going to call them today, even on my phone message, when you ring me and I miss your call, it says I will ring you within 3 business hours. So what I do actually deliver on that. And a lot of people, when they come across from another agent to us, they say, well, you really do keep in touch, and I get all the testimonials from them, and that's what I do to get my listings. Is I put up what people say about my service, and I have my own slogan. I say service beyond excellence, and I live by that. So
service beyond excellence.
Yeah, I put it on my sold signs and everything. So
fantastic.
You believe something, you live it, then you actually deliver it, and that's the way I operate.
So are you at a level now where you're just relying on referral business, or have you got promotional activity bubbling away?
I should be doing more promotional, but I actually, it's been basically a referral business that just comes just because I've sold the property to someone before, or someone says to a friend, oh, she sold her house, she's really, quite good with the contact and that. So I don't have to do that much in our business, and it's quite busy, but it's always good to have a bit of a backup plan. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, in your office though, is there one prospecting method that you've found works in your marketplace?
Yeah, what I find works for me is the one-on-one, the phone call myself to the person that I'm dealing with, whether it's a vendor or a buyer. So the prospecting key is that I met someone, they come as a buyer, but they're actually going to sell. My dealing with that particular buyer, when they were buying, and even if they buy from somebody else, when they come to list, they come to me because they've experienced how I treated them as a buyer, so they come back to me as a seller. And a lot of people say, we're really very sorry that we didn't buy from you, but we will, when we come to sell, we will go through. And it did happen quite a lot of number of times that people just come back because your service.
Whoever they are, whatever end of the transaction, just service their subject. Fantastic. So busy soul sapping industry sometimes. What do you do to relax? How do you get away from it all?
That's my problem. That's my negative thing. I try not to work Sunday, but and I try to book like holidays longer than
So 6-day week for you?
Mostly 6.5, and very long hours.
Regular holidays?
I am guilty of that. Now I am trying to put a system in place. We've got, in our team, I've got my husband and 2 PAs at the moment, but we are going to be putting somebody else on.
So my next question is, do you use a PA?
I have to.
Did you say 2?
2 PAs plus my husband. He does all the bookwork and everything.
Fantastic. So you're employing, so your husband's with you full time?
Yep.
And 2 PAs?
Yeah.
So they have specific job roles?
Yes, I have one that concentrates more on the running the buyers and the admin side of the business, and the other lady does the prospecting and running the buyers side of things. So if she sees someone at an open home and they're going to be potential sellers, she follows that up.
So do you do your own open inspections?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, but not all of them. We chop and change so that we do an average of about 20 per weekend. So we have about maybe...
In your own right, you would do 20 a weekend?
I personally do about 6 or 7, sometimes 8, and the girls do about 5 or 6 each.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's your business?
Yes.
Would be 20
yeah.
opens
yeah.
that weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a substantial business. So 3 PAs, and it works, the dynamic is good for you, you've got that wide?
Yeah, you've got to, it takes a long time to be able to know that I'm going to depend on someone, but making sure that you're following it through, making sure that, yes, even though I'm not doing the open home, but I'm actually following up the process. I know who's been to the house. I'm actually calling the vendors back, letting them know how many people have been through, what the feedback is. And my promise to my sellers, it's what I say to them at the listing meeting, it's exactly the way it is when it actually delivers the contract of sale. And a lot of people, again, like I said, just keeping in contact, that's where my point of difference is, where a lot of people in our area don't do that with their clients. And that's my point of difference, is just keeping in touch.
Good.
Yeah.
Good,
yeah.
good. So, where do you see all this 10 years on, our industry?
Look, I mean, no one knows what would happen the next minute, but all I know is that I'm just looking at every single day and bettering my business, bettering my service, growing the team. This is, sky's only the limit, and that's the good thing about our industry. There's no limit. You can only make it what you want it to be.
Do you see yourself owning an office one day?
Oh, one day I will, definitely. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Good.
definitely.
Good. Give us a ring.
Yeah.
We want to see you out at Harvey Fibre.
Yeah.
And what would be your pearl of advice for anyone that was coming into the industry or wanted to come into the industry?
Look,
In sales.
the important thing is that a lot of people would say the first thing they say, keep persisting, you just got to know what works for you, what works in that area, because what might work in a different office, when people say door knock, and sometimes it works in one area but it doesn't. You've got to really tailor it to what the market actually does in that particular spot that you cater for, your farming area. So maybe in that particular, suburb, door knocking doesn't work, but a phone call, through cold call, but or database, that's what might trigger the business. Some areas, you do, like an information night, so you can't really generalize it. When people say, this what works to get the new business, but my advice is that if you keep on going and basically deliver what you say I will do, that is, to me, that's the best way to go about our business.
Through these, there's no real rocket science still in any of this. It's
just calling people back. That's all what it is. Just calling
would you
people.
agree? It's just contact, high level of contact.
Absolutely.
The quality of service doesn't.
And genuinely showing your care.
Yeah.
You don't just call and say, oh, I'm just doing a follow-up call. They just switch off when you say a follow-up call. You just say, hey, I'm just catching up with you. I'm just saying, you looked at this house. What do you think? I see the kids. You make it more personal. You don't say, I'm just following up with your inspection and sound like an operating machine,
No.
Yeah.
The call centre.
Absolutely.